The order that broke hearts. The Blue Haven restaurant was the kind of place where the floor gleamed like glass and waiters smiled through exhaustion. The evening rush was heavy, and at table 7 sat 2 little girls, maybe 10 and 12, dressed in plain second-hand clothes. They weren't customers. They were bus girls, cleaning tables, refilling glasses, invisible to everyone. The younger one, Lily, held a heavy tray, trying to balance a steaming bowl of soup. Her hands trembled. The manager, Mr. Raymond, towered over her, watching like a hawk. Then, it happened. Her foot slipped on a wet patch. The tray tipped. Hot soup splattered across the floor. The restaurant went quiet. Raymond's eyes narrowed. "Do you know how much that costs?" he hissed. I'm sorry, sir," Lily stammered, eyes filling with tears. "I'll clean it up right away." "Not good enough," he snapped. "You made this mess. You'll clean it, with your tongue." The words sliced through the silence. Even the piano player stopped mid-note. Lily gasped, her lips trembling. Her sister, Emma, stepped forward, shaking. "Please, sir, she didn't mean to, she's just a kid." "Then both of you can do it," Raymond sneered. "Or you're both fired. Right here. Right now." The girls' faces turned pale. People stared, but no one moved. And then, from the corner booth, a man in a gray suit stood up. He was tall, calm, and had the quiet authority of someone who didn't need to shout to be heard. Ethan Cole. He had come in quietly that evening, hoping to enjoy a simple meal away from his bodyguards, away from the noise of wealth. He'd built the Blue Haven chain himself, from nothing. And yet, what he saw now made his stomach turn. He watched the little girl sink to her knees, trembling, staring at her reflection in the puddle of soup. And Ethan's voice cut through the air. "Don't you dare." Everyone turned. Raymond's sneer faltered. "Excuse me? Who do you think you are?" Ethan walked forward, his shoes echoing on the marble floor. "I'm the man who signs your paycheck," he said coldly. The manager's face went white. Mr. Cole?" I didn't realize." Ethan's gaze hardened. "You just told 2 children to lick the floor. In my restaurant. I was only..." Silence. He turned to the girls, his voice softening. "Stand up, sweetheart. You did nothing wrong." Lily's tears fell freely now. "I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean." "I know," Ethan whispered. "It's okay." He placed a gentle hand on her shoulder, and in that moment, the restaurant saw not a billionaire, but a man who still remembered what hunger felt like. A past he couldn't forget. After firing Raymond on the spot, Ethan led the girls outside. The evening air was cold. They sat on a bench under the streetlight. "Where are your parents?" Ethan asked gently. Emma looked down. We don't have any." Ethan's heart sank. "Our mom got sick last year," Emma continued, "and our landlord kicked us out. We've been trying to earn money for her medicine." Ethan frowned. "You mean she's still alive?" Lily nodded. "At the shelter. She's too weak to walk." The billionaire's chest tightened. He thought of his own mother, how she used to scrub floors so he could go to school. He remembered the sting of hunger, the humiliation of wearing the same shoes until they fell apart. He took a deep breath. "Show me where she is." The girls hesitated but trusted his kind eyes. They led him across town, far from the golden lights of the restaurant, to a crumbling building that reeked of dampness and despair. Inside, on a thin mattress, lay a frail woman wrapped in a worn blanket. Her face was pale, her breathing shallow. "Mom," Emma whispered, "we brought someone." The woman opened her eyes weakly. When she saw Ethan, something in her expression changed, shock, recognition, and disbelief. "Ethan," she breathed. Ethan froze. "How do you know my name?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Because I used to know a little boy. He lived 2 doors down from me, years ago. His mother died trying to feed him. I used to give him soup when she couldn't." His throat tightened. "Mrs. Parker." She nodded weakly. "You were that boy, weren't you?" Ethan sank to his knees, eyes glistening. Memories flooded back, the smell of bread, her gentle smile, the way she'd sneak him food when no one else cared. He reached for her hand. "You saved me when I had nothing. And now, it's my turn." The redemption of kindness. The next morning, the Blue Haven chain made national headlines, but not for scandal. It was for compassion. Ethan had done something unthinkable. He didn't just help the girls and their mother, he transformed their lives. He paid for Mrs. Parker's treatment at the best hospital in the city. He enrolled Emma and Lily in one of the best schools, assigning them personal tutors. But he didn't stop there. At a press conference outside his restaurant, Ethan stood before cameras and said, "Yesterday, I witnessed something that broke me. Power and privilege mean nothing if we forget humanity. From this day forward, every Blue Haven restaurant will fund scholarships and jobs for homeless children and single mothers." The crowd erupted in applause. A reporter asked, "Mr. Cole, why this sudden change of heart?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Because someone once fed a hungry boy soup, and asked for nothing in return. I was that boy." The cameras clicked. The story went viral. But behind the fame, Ethan stayed the same, quietly visiting the Parkers every week, reading stories to Lily and helping Emma with her math. Months later, when Mrs. Parker regained her strength, she wept in Ethan's arms. "You didn't just save us," she whispered. "You saved the boy you used to be." Ethan smiled through tears. "Maybe I just remembered what it feels like to be seen." The floor that taught compassion. 1 year later, a golden plaque hung on the restaurant wall. It read, "No act of kindness is ever wasted, for even spilled soup can change a life." Every employee now learned empathy before service. And every child who walked through Blue Haven's doors knew they mattered. And that very spot where Lily had once knelt crying? Now it held a small flower pot. A symbol of dignity. Ethan would often look at it, remembering that night, the cruelty, the courage, and the miracle that followed. Sometimes it takes a single moment of injustice to awaken the kindness we forgot we had. Sparkling hard, if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles, where every story reminds us that one small act of humanity can change everything.